It is in Parshat Bereishit that we are first introduced to the concept of Shabbat, a day of rest. The Torah describes how Hashem created the universe in 6 days, and then there was the 7th day, the day of Shabbat, a day of rest. Now the Creator of the universe neither slumbers nor sleeps, and never becomes tired or worn out. But nevertheless, it tells us that He ceased to work on Shabbat. Vayevarech Elokim et Yom HaShvi'i vayikadesh oto. And Hashem blessed the 7th day, and He consecrated it. So we have those particular verbs. Vayevarech, Hashem blessed, vayikadesh, and He sanctified. And Rashi says that these are really opposites, and they refer to a later event that took place. Vayevarech Elokim b'man. God blessed the 7th day, Shabbat, with the manna, by giving a second portion of manna to the Jewish people in the wilderness. But also by Yekadesh, He sanctified it. That means He withheld something. Although He gave them a second portion to be consumed on Shabbat, that second portion did not fall on Shabbat. It fell on Friday, and then they had enough. So we see on Shabbat a dual aspect, almost an opposite aspect. There's brocha, and brocha always implies increase. There's an increase. Many times in the Torah, Hashem says that if you do this, that, or the other, Hashem will increase your children and your crops and your animals. Brocha is an increase. Vayikadesh, sanctify, can mean to set something back, to set it away from everything else. So Shabbat is both blessed and it's sanctified. It is the source of blessing. Kihi mekora bracha. We say in Lechadidi on Friday night that Shabbat is the source of blessing. It's almost like you have a river, and the river begins high up in the mountains, and there's a little bubbling source there, a little spring, and from that spring, this enormous river grows. That is Shabbat. All of the source of blessing in this world, all of our parnasah, our livelihood, comes from Shabbat, our commitment to keeping Shabbat. So yes, it is the source of all blessing, but at the same time, we have to be mekadesh ourselves. We have to sanctify ourselves. That means we have to hold ourselves back and not do work, and realize that there is a creator. Hashem is in charge of the factory. And once a week He comes and he knocks and He says, gentlemen, ladies, it's time to stop working. It's time to take off and realize that I'm the boss. I'm in charge of this entire operation. We're coming up now to the annual Shabbos project, and this is something to remember. These two aspects of Shabbat. Sometimes you have people who bless the Shabbat. That means they have abundance of Shabbat. They have a lot of good food and wine, and they have visitors over. And of course, that's fantastic. But there's also the kiddush. There's holding oneself back, restraining, and coming to terms with the fact that we cannot always be creators. We create the entire week, but there's a time that we have to cease. And in this way, we show the kedusha, the sanctity of Shabbat. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.